Intros.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are calling in from the old stomping grounds of North Carolina, hanging out at the beach here to celebrate our friend getting married. And today we're going to be talking about why people buy life insurance and the most persuasive, I don't want to say sales tactic, but the most persuasive
Sales strategy.
Good input there, Tim.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Can't complain, man. We're here at the beach, going live. Going to be spitting some game for you guys, and hasn't been a regular occurrence for Julian and I to be in the same spot while on one of these live streams. So it's quite a different dynamic. I'm not used to it, but I'm really excited to dive into everything with you guys.
Yeah, cool. Well, why don't we dive straight in then? So, one of the things that we were talking about in today's training with the agents that are in our paid program is basically what it looks like to actually get to the root of someone's why. More or less, this is the only reason that people actually buy insurance. And so if you're trying to sell quotes right now, you are what I call a price sticker. And if you're a price sticker, thank you so much for doing that, because it makes my job easier, because I make more sales by actually solving people's problems. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things, and Tim, I want you to chime in here as well. We can maybe even role play it out for everybody.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about basically the fact that sales, if you boil it down from all the way down to all these tactics and strategies and flim-flams, you're just identifying a problem and offering a solution. That's it. So at its core, you're identifying a problem and offering a solution. Now, the cool part about all of this is that if you want to be extra persuasive, you get them to identify the problem and them to identify the solution. And you can only do that by asking them questions that lead them to that conclusion. So, anything you'd like to add on that, Tim?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, like, the biggest thing is ultimately people just want to buy from people that understand them. And, at the end of the day, life insurance is just a product that solves a problem. And if you don't know what the problem you're solving is, you're not going to sell any life insurance.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people, the old way of selling was that you would basically have to get someone to like you. And this concept of rapport came out. This is something that irks me to this day. This concept of rapport came out that you have to ask about their grandkids' favorite colors and the drawings on the wall and the pictures on the hearth. And it's disgusting, because people don't really care to talk about these things unless they have a reason to. And that's why we ask probing questions to understand why they want to move forward with these products. And if you can do this, and we're going to give you some examples. I'm not just dangling the carrot here, guys. I'm going to show you the real. But if you're just like going out and you're like, oh my gosh, like your grandkids are so adorable. Like, you know what I mean? You see this a lot in face-to-face sales. But if you're trying to rebuild rapport over the phone, it's even worse. Like, oh, wow, do you have any grandkids? Oh my gosh, how many do you have? It's like 10 minutes of just back and forth. If you really want to dive in on getting them to purchase a product from you, you have to identify the solution.
Yep.
You have to identify the problem. So why don't we play it out? We can ask a few questions, unless you want to add anything, Tim.
Nope.
Cool.
Covered it.
So a few of the questions that you can ask to get people to actually go about explaining these things to you are, I guess we'll call them extension questions, right? So there's like your base question and the question after the question. So like, for example, if you ever go to Chipotle and they say, what kind of burrito do you want? That's a base question, right? You want a burrito or a bowl? Now, an extension question would be like, do you want white rice or brown rice? Okay, you guys tracking with me so far? Now, in sales, what most people do is they only ask if they want a burrito bowl or a burrito. So they'll be like, hey, do you want to get do you want to cover a burial or a cremation? And they just leave it there. Oh, I want a burial. Awesome. Great. Thanks. Have a great day. Awesome. Let me get you a quote, right? And they just they jump the gun, because they're trying to sell. They're not trying to solve. And so if you want to solve problems for people and get paid handsomely to do it, instead of just asking them about the problem itself, you can also ask them why they want to solve the problem itself. So for example, I might say, Tim, is this your first time looking into life insurance?
No.
Awesome. Now, what most people are going to do is move to the next portion of the script. But what I'm going to do is ask an extension question, meaning I'm trying to understand his problem to prescribe a solution. So I'll say, I got you, Tim, and you said this is not your first time looking into life insurance. How long have you been shopping around for?
The last couple weeks.
Beautiful. And side note, I'm asking that question because if I know how long he's been shopping around for, I know how long he's been thinking about it, meaning I can overcome that objection later with the information you just gave me. Great, Tim. So you've been looking around for 3 or 4 weeks, and if you haven't landed on a policy yet, it's probably because it was either unaffordable or you haven't been able to get approved. Which one is it for you?
I mean, I just haven't really been liking the prices I've been seeing, to be honest with you.
Let's pause it right there. Those were 2 extension questions. We started with first time looking into life insurance. Extension question number 1 was, great. You said you've been shopping around. How long you've been doing that for? Trying to understand how long this process has been taking place. This guy doesn't want to shop around for 3-4 weeks. Nobody wants to shop around more than one day, right? And so now we ask a second extension question, which leads me to get further information from him saying, hey, is it price or is it approval, right? What's the gap? Okay. And so he just told me it was a price objection. So instead of having a price objection later in the call, I'm going to say, Tim, that makes sense. What kind of prices were these crazy people showing you?
Like $200 a month or something.
Oh my gosh, $200 a month. And how much coverage was that for?
Like 25,000 or something.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha. And then I guess are you just trying to stay under the $200 a month, or what number are you trying to stay under?
I'd like to be under, under 100, honestly.
Boom. Now we just removed the pricing objection by asking us that was a 3rd or 4th extension question, I believe it was. And we've gotten there. We've overcome now 3 objections just by asking extension questions in the first 2 minutes of the call. And so I've already overcome the objections before I've even talked about pricing, right? Now, when he tells me that he wants to stay under $100 a month, instead of saying, what's your budget, which is basically asking them, how much are you okay to spend with me today, which is a terrible question. I'm going to ask them how much they don't want to spend more than, right? What is their barrier? What can they not go above? When you do this, you're basically going to get people's payment thresholds without seeming like a high-pressure salesperson, and you're doing it in their best interest, right? And so if anyone ever why do you need to know how much I want to spend? Well, I mean, Tim, I don't want to go over quotes with you that would be out of your price range. That would be inappropriate. Wouldn't you agree? They're like, whoa, I mean, yeah, that would be very inappropriate, right? They're totally on board with you now. And so I love talking about this stuff because so many people are just price stickers. You jump on and they're like, hey, Tim, I'll be a price sticker real quick so we can kind of contrast it. Hey, Tim.
What?
This is Julian calling you back from XYZ Benefit Advisors Company. This is how most scripts go. I'm calling you on a recorded line. So were you serious about moving forward with coverage today? Or how much coverage were you looking for?
About 200,000.
200,000. Let me get you a quote for that. You said you were 76 years old?
Right. Yeah, 77
as
of today.
What most agents are doing, and it's no fault of theirs, it's usually the lack of training, is they're going through and just dropping bombs on people who are making, $2,000 a month saying, yep, for 200,000 in coverage, it's only going to be $8,000 a month for a term that's going to last you for a freaking 10 years. And the worst part about all this is that these prospects are walking away thinking insurance is not an option for them. You're walking away without a commission, and the industry is paying for it, right? 50% of people, I think it's 48% of people are actually insured with a proper policy. 52% or something like that don't even have insurance. And guys, if we're price stickers, it's our fault, right? We got a happy birthday in the chat here for Tim. If you guys want to comment happy birthday, Tim just turned 19. So he's, I'm just kidding. He's a man now, but yeah, happy birthday to Tim. So let's get some questions in the chat here if we have any. Tim, anything to add on this so far?
No.
Amazing.
I'm just going to let people think I'm 19. We'll just leave that.
Yeah, Tim's 19.
There.
We'll just leave it out there. Cool. Bless you says life is great. Thank you. Did you sneeze?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Bless you.
But I do feel blessed.
Nice. So if we're talking about staying away from being price stickers, let's focus on some really good questions that will help you to basically follow the extension question scenarios, right? This is just something I just threw together today on the extension questions. I've never talked about this before, but it's the easiest thing to basically understand is that you're just asking an extension of the questions that you're already asking, right? It's clarifying questions more or less is a better way to describe it. So for example, if I said, what's your name, Tim? Or I said, what's your name? Tim. Instead of just taking that at face value, I'm going to be like, is that short for Timothy or is it just Tim? And like, it's just a clarifying question. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just getting the full information necessary. But if you're trying to sell somebody insurance and you don't know what they need or how much they need, how much they can pay for, or if they need somebody else to help them make a decision, or if they're going to get approved, like, are you actually even selling anything at all? Right? It's difficult to solve a problem you can't even properly define. And if they can't define it, why the heck are they going to buy from you? So I think those are some super valuable points there in understanding, but I feel like I've been talking a lot, and honestly, I'm getting tired. So I want Tim to jump in here and share some of his key points on this, because he's a freaking closer, whether or not you guys know it.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to a call earlier today from an agent inside of our group, and basically what I notice a lot of times happens is, like, this is not just in this one call, but I hear this in a lot of calls that I listen to, is the way the call is going to go is like dictated in like the first 15 seconds of the call.
100%.
So like, and a lot of it comes from like your tonality. So when you jump on the phone and you have low energy and you're not basically stepping on the heels of their words, the prospect immediately takes over the call, and then they dictate where the call goes, and they're asking you questions, and now you're on the back burner, right? So like, it's a matter of like the difference in tonality of jumping on the phone and being like, "Hey, Julian."
Hello?
"Hey, Julian, it's just Tim. I was getting back to you about a request that you filled out on Facebook."
Click.
Well, even if you stay on the phone, now all of a sudden you don't think I'm a professional. I'm not coming at it with high energy, and so you're going to take over the direction the call goes, right? This happens with any call, even if it's not a sales call, like any human or interaction. When you don't come in sounding like a man/woman with a mission, then the other person is going to take over the call and direct where it goes, or take over the conversation and direct where it goes.
Or end the conversation.
Right. So you guys heard that. Now, if we contrast that with this, "Hey, Julian."
Hello?
"Julian, what's going on, man? It's just Tim. I was getting back to you with that request you'd sent in on Facebook. Looks like you were looking at some life insurance plans without a 2-year waiting period. How's it going?"
Good.
Awesome, man. Well, I was just calling just to see if we could even help. Was this your first time looking into life insurance?
No.
No? Okay. Awesome. So you said this is not your first time looking into it. How long you been looking around for?
Yeah, and I want to pause it here to clarify really quickly. Tim hasn't sold insurance in 2 years? More?
Yeah.
And this kid still knows the script. And he sounds better than most reps out there. And his full-time job is marketing, and your full-time job is sales. Like, the industry has to step up. We have to step up as an industry, because if we're willing to accept mediocrity, our clients are going to be willing to accept mediocre policies from our competition. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, "Dude, I do not want to be that first guy," then the biggest focus that you need to have is on identifying the problem and helping them define the solution, right? Energy, tonality, all of these things are super important. But I've got guys, even if you jump on and you got the best tonality, the best energy, the best everything in the world, you've got the right script, the right this, the right that. If you're not asking any clarifying questions or seeking to understand your customers, you're never going to see success. And I found myself in a position where there was a week, I was actually in North Carolina, right? I don't think it was a beach town, right? I don't think it was where I am right now. But the thing about it was, I found myself like having commission breath, right? And like, commission breath is basically just you're trying to get them to buy the product in the least amount of words possible. Like, that's the easiest way to understand it. Would you agree with that? You're skipping steps to make sales?
Sort of. I think that's one way to define it, but I'd say there's probably more nuance to it.
Yeah. There's more that you could use to define it. But what I found typically is that when people are just trying to cut corners to be able to get a sale to go move forward today.
Yeah.
Right? And they do this in the search of a commission. And this could come off in multiple ways. You know, they seem desperate, they're aggressive, hostile. There's all sorts of ways you can see this. The like easiest way to define it is like people are trying to sell policies with less words. That's the easiest way to define it.
Yeah.
So from what I found though, is that if you, instead of trying to get them to listen to you, you just listen to them. And instead of trying to get it done in less words with telling them why they should do it, just ask them in less words why they think they should do it. And if you go about it that way, these people will just tell you why they need the insurance, why they need it now, and what they want to cover. And as long as you just help them keep their expectations aligned properly, there's no reason they shouldn't buy today.
Yeah.
And it's killing me because there's so many people that are like, they've got everything right, but they just can't figure that part out. And it sucks because it's going to affect your income. And so, I don't know, like, is there anything in particular you think we should practice around this specifically?
Like commission breath?
No, just like diving into the why to avoid commission breath.
I mean, like I was saying, like a lot of it is dictated by how you intro the call. So like, if you come at it with that energy, like there's two pieces when it comes to finding out their why. One is just like actually asking the questions in the first place, because a lot of people just skip over them and they don't even ask. But the other part of that is asking the questions in the right way, because sales, like the quality of your sale is not about what you ask, it's the quality of the answers you receive. And a lot of that determines on how you ask your questions, right? So for me to know someone's why and know their true reason behind buying life insurance, one, I have to ask, but two, they have to answer. And a lot of that comes down to the way you ask it, right? So a big piece of that is, a lot of times, this is something I hear very often in calls, is somebody will give a very vague answer. So it'll be like, for example, hey, yeah, so Julian, I know you said you're looking to leave some money behind, or I'll even go more surface level than that. What's the purpose of this policy? Are you just looking to leave money behind or cover a funeral?
Just wanted to get some insurance.
Okay, just looking to get some insurance. And I guess, was that more so to do like cover funeral expenses, or are you trying to like leave money behind the kids?
Just wanted to, get a quote, really.
Okay, awesome. So just kind of looking to get a quote. And when you say you're looking to get a quote, the insurance that you're looking to get a quote on, is that coverage going to be left behind, or are you more so looking for like, I just want to make sure I look at the correct amount for you so I can find you the best plan.
I'm just trying to cover a burial.
Just cover a burial. Awesome. Leaving money behind as well, or just cover a burial?
I just want to cover a burial.
Tell me you want to leave money behind. That's where I want to take this example.
Leave money behind.
Okay, got it. And then people will usually just stop there. Like, oh yeah, they just want to leave money behind, and then they'll go into it. Like, that's the reason. But you want to go a layer deeper. So like, I'll be like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, Leon. And I guess like, what specifically do you want that money to be left behind for? And then they'll sometimes give you another vague answer, right? Oh, I just want to leave some money behind. That makes sense. Well, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right amount for you. What were you looking to leave the money behind for? Is it like, helping the kids with like a down payment on a house, or just pay off some credit card debt for them? Or what specifically, in an ideal world, would you want this money to be used for?
Yeah. And that'll really help you get deep in there. Cause like, for example, and this is one of the things you have to be super careful with, is like, you're going to get vague answers to the questions that you ask vague questions on.
Yeah.
So like, for example, this is something that I used to do a lot in person and in face-to-face. This is a killer line, is like, what got you looking into this life insurance, or what got you thinking about life insurance? Right. Great line. But like, when I used to say it on the phone, people would be like, I'd be like, what got you looking into this kind of thing? Same exact thing I'd say in person. And they'd just be like, I just need to get some insurance, or I'm looking at some insurance, or trying to get a price. And they just say something super surface level and vague. Now, because I'm a ninja, instead of just being like, oh, okay, let me get that for you, I'd be like, okay, gotcha. But like, when you say you're looking for a price, like, what specifically are you trying to cover? And sometimes they'll just say, oh, I just want to get some insurance. But then you have to continue to do what Tim was doing, for example, where it's like, yeah, but like, when you say that you just want to get some insurance, like, what specifically are we covering? I mean, just so like I know what plans to even look at. There's so many out there. And the more that you can dig into defining, like getting them to define the problem, and then also getting them to define the solution, like, the easier this is, right? Because if I have to basically explain to Tim why he needs insurance, what he needs insurance for, how insurance works, and I see this all the time too, where it's just like cash value this and cash value that, and it's just like your prospects like this on the phone, like, oh my God, cash value, and they don't even know what it is, and then they're confused, and then they can't buy. If you're just going through all these questions, going through the motions and just vomiting on them, like they're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
You have to ask clear, concise questions. What exactly are you trying to cover? What specifically are you concerned about? When you say that, when you say this, what do you mean by that? How does that affect you? In what way, though? We're asking these clarifying questions to get them to clearly define the problem, clearly define the solution. And this is really going to level you guys up because this changed my freaking life. Anything to add to that?
I think a lot of times too, like you can just add a word to a question and it changes the whole question. So like, what are you looking to cover is a different question from what specifically you're looking to cover, which is a different question to give me an overall, give me a 10,000 foot overview of what you're looking to cover. Like those are all, you're going to get different answers based off of the questions you ask. So like if you need a specific or an exact answer, you should say specifically or exactly. If you're looking for a 10,000 foot high level overview of a question, then you should add that word to your question. Like whatever you ask for is what you'll get most of the time, right? So when you're asking these questions in the discovery phase, and this is like basically when you're going through this, this is all the ammo that you're loading up into your gun that if they give you objections, you're shooting it down. And if you don't have any ammo, when they give you an objection, you have nothing in the chamber.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people would just try to skip through this to get to health questions as fast as possible because they feel like the client is like, you know, impatient or whatever. But if you want to do this at a high level, you need to be the one that's dictating the pace of the call, and you have to be able to get this information before you go forward. Otherwise, there's no sale to be even had. So that's what I would say is like not compromising on getting this info because like I swear every single time that someone compromises on this, lets the prospect control the call and they get to the end, every single time it's I need to think about it. Without fail, it's I need to think about it every single time. So if you want to close more deals, stick on the discovery phase, get to the why, dig deeper, ask these questions specifically, exactly, what are you looking to cover, and make sure you get the root answer before you move on.
I agree. And I think one of the things that I'd like to actually kind of like zoom back, rewind on my life to Ben Lincoln. Yeah, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I used to sell door to door. Yes. I've sold a lot door to door. Yeah, in North Carolina.
Here in this county we're in right now.
Yeah. Not just a little bit, but a lot of it. Trained a lot of agents to do door to door.
I think I had like a 6 or 7K week in this county like 3 years ago.
Yeah, we stayed in the country.
Brunswick County, North Carolina. Yeah, right down the road.
So yeah. That way? Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. So we sold a lot door to door. We sold a lot over the phone. Ultimately, the phone is better. It's just less dangerous. I didn't get in any car accidents like I did face to face. But here's the deal. And I want to zoom out on this a bit because it's important to understand sales and it's important to understand insurance. But I'm going to move out of insurance for a second to help you guys drive this home a bit more because in insurance, you're not selling a product, you're selling a promise. Now, I'm going to explain because this is basically how my mind conceptualized this long ago. I used to sell gym memberships. When I sold gym memberships, I used to ask people what their goal was, right? So I'd call them up and I'd be like, what's your goal? And this is to further Tim's point just a moment ago. And they'd be like, oh, I want to blank, lose weight, do this, that, get muscle, whatever it was. But if I tried to sell them a membership when they said they wanted to lose weight, there was no substance in that. And so the problem was that people needed to think about it. They didn't want to move forward and so on and so forth. So then what happened is I realized that the people who told me the most were the people that bought the most. And so then I just started asking questions to get them to tell me more and to be specific with their answers. And so when I did that, people would be like, oh yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds because 40 pounds because my husband hasn't touched me in 6 years. And you're like, whoa, that's a little bit much, right? That's a little bit like personal. And they tell you that and they start crying. And like all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I need to get this gym membership now. I need to stop putting this off. And you're like, yep, you do. And they're like, yeah, you know what? And you've been so helpful. Where do I sign? How much is it? Right? They're like, they're selling themselves. And you're like, Oh yeah, let me get to that. Let me see if I have, let me get the sheet available for you. I'm trying to give you guys an image on this because it's the exact same thing. You're just selling a promise instead. And so if you break it down, when you're identifying a problem and a solution, the product is the bridge to them getting the solution. So the problem is why they need to do it. The solution is what they want, and the product is in the middle. That's what gets them there, right? And so, like, for example, when you're just saying, let's lose some weight, or they're like, yeah, I just want to, get a quote, and you're like, great, let me get you this quote. Let me get you the best quote you've seen all day. There's no bridge, right? Your product is not solving anything because they don't see the solution for themselves because the problem is not clearly defined, right? And so if we're gonna define the problem and then define the solution, right? But they're gonna have to do it. We can't do it. We have to help them do it. Then the product is automatically the bridge for them to get to their desired outcome. And all you have to do is just explain it in the exact same way that they asked you to solve their problem, right? Because they're the ones who told you that they needed it and wanted it because that's the problem that they want to get rid of. So I know that was like up here, but does that make sense? Cool. I thought so.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure because sometimes I get weird. But ultimately, if you guys are diving in and you're trying to like figure this stuff out, just remember problem, solution, product, right? But until we have these 2 points clearly defined, until we know where the start of the race is and the end of the race, we can't tell them how to get there.
Yeah, 100%. I see a couple questions came in. Life is Great said, should I just sell in my state or get more licenses in different states as well? I'll send you a video that'll show you which states to add, but I would definitely recommend not only selling in one state. It's going to pigeonhole you and make your life a lot harder. Your cost per lead is going to be higher when you get your own leads on Facebook using our system. And overall, it just limits you. Like, part of the beauty of telesales is you can sell from anywhere. So this video I just sent is for you. Life is Great. Make sure to click on that, open it up, and bookmark the tab. It's a video that says best and worst states to sell final expense telesales. So I would recommend that. And then for you, Ben Lincoln Golf, I would recommend checking out this. This is a free course that'll show you how to generate leads, whether it's for mortgage protection or final expense. So I'm dropping this in there as well. So yeah, we have hours and hours of like free content on how to generate your own leads. Or if you're the type of person that would like just rather have somebody set it up for you, we also do that for people. I mean, we had a client, I just filmed a video with a client yesterday who did 10K in 2 weeks. Actually, yeah, 10K in 2 weeks on like less than $1,000 of lead spent. So,
wow, 10x?
Yeah, over 10x. It was 14K in a little over 2 weeks on $1,000 in lead spend. So pretty crazy stuff. And we were happy to help you out with that as well. If you want the link for that, just let me know and I can shoot it over to you. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys want to see more of? I mean, we've been doing sales training stuff for the last 7 weeks. Do you guys want to see more lead gen stuff, or where do you guys feel like we could be the most helpful?
Let us know in the comments below. It's Tim's birthday, his 19th birthday. So, not actually, but you guys are never going to know how old Tim is now. We're taking him out to dinner here in just a few minutes after we wrap up this live. It's getting a little bit late on the East Coast here. Let us know in the comments, what do you want to see more of? Because ultimately, we just want to help you make more money. So let us know in the comments, and let's see how we can help you guys out. Because the more of us that are winning, the bigger this industry gets, the better off all of us are going to be as a group, right? There's enough room for everybody in this game, and we want to help you guys be more successful as well as ourselves. So,
not to mention, when you guys make money with our free stuff, then you are going to pay us, and then we all make more money. It's a win-win. So, awesome, ladies and gents. What other questions do we have for the final 2 minutes of this training here? What do you guys want more content or help with? And what are you guys running into? Let's see. I see. Ben said, I'd like to chat about setting up a Legion. Awesome. I'll shoot you over the link.
Would love to see more full day of selling, going through a whole presentation. I've got a 10-hour workday video that's filmed. You'd be surprised how many people have watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Where you can actually watch what an entire workday looks like from somebody who was doing over 10K per week, week over week, month after month. And if you want to see like specific clips where I overcome objections in real time, and I'm making like real live calls with prospects, right? Shooting live rounds, if you will. You can also find that we've got titles on the channel that talk about
there's a whole playlist of live calls.
Yeah, I mean, just like pretty much you can see me overcome like I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my daughter, or whatever. Like we have like pretty much all of it on there. So you can go out, you can see that. And there's also a few videos where you just watch me crank out like 3 deals back to back in a couple hours or things like that. But that would definitely be helpful. And I know Ben said he can be booking a call. If you don't have any availability, if I don't have any availability, Ben, because I'm usually booked out at least 3 days in advance, let me know. You can shoot me a message, and we can get you on the calendar and see if we can help you grow your business. But it looks like we're at the 30-minute mark here, right on the nose. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up after we answer this last question. Advice on regular job income. We have videos on the channel that talk about like which agency to work with, MLM, FMO, IMO, whatever you want to call it, that you can find. And there's breakdowns of each and every one of them and exactly which one would be the best fit for you. Can kind of be like, your opinion on that. We're super unbiased. We don't have any dog in the fight either way, but hopefully that helps Leland, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. See ya.